In this week's studio vlog, we are working on the September goodie box, which was just disaster after disaster. Honestly, this box just went from bad to worse. So come along with me as I relive the trauma of making the September goodie box, and you can find out whether or not it all came right in the end. Hello pals, welcome back to the vlog. If you don't know me, my name is Sherelle. I'm an artist, illustrator and drinker of tea. I've got my pumpkin mug out at the moment because I'm calling it. It's officially autumn. September is here. Well and truly here. I think it's like the 14th of September. We're almost... No, it must be the 15th. It's the 15th of September today. I don't know where half the month has gone because... as far as I'm concerned, it was the 1st of September yesterday. I've lost 2 weeks of my life somewhere, and I have a lot of work to do. I really do. I really need to get going on the September goodie box because sign up for that is now over, and I like to get them shipped out as soon as possible after the sign up period is finished. And I haven't even completed the boxes. I will admit, it's not the first time that's happened this year. Like the first kind of quarter of the year, so January through March, I was running the goodie boxes this way by accident. I just kept running out of time to get them ready before the cut-off period. So what would then happen is that I would find out how many people have signed up and only make that many boxes. You know, like if you're part of the subscription, you're guaranteed a box. That's kind of the idea. But I decided from April through till, well, basically now, that I wasn't going to do that. And what I really wanted to do, which was the plan from the start, was to make up X amount of boxes, and then those would go to first fulfill the Patreon goodie box subscriptions, and then if there were any left over, they would go up for general sale. So that's how I've wanted to do this whole goodie box thing. And it's worked fairly well up until this month, which has left me realising that next year this has to work differently. I cannot carry on as we are. I've got a rough idea of what that's going to look like, but I want to properly flesh it out more. Just watch this space on the goodie boxes, because I feel like there will be changes coming, but I'm not getting rid of the goodie boxes at all. But something has got to be done differently, because currently the current workload is not sustainable. It does not allow for breaks. It's a recipe for burnout, I think is where we're headed. With all that said, I really need to do the September goodie box. Most of it's done. This one has the little mini magnets in, which you might remember we made the packaging for, my God, like months ago, which is like a little groceries bag with little mini magnets in, and the mini magnets are all like pantry items. The sticker sheet is designed, not printed, but designed. I have a print that I am working on but haven't quite finished yet. What else is there to go in there? Oh, I'll need to do a die cut sticker. Can you hear that noise? It's so windy today. You might not be able to hear it on the camera, it might not be picking it up. It's so windy today. The wind is like howling through, I don't even know where it's howling through, parts of my house. Clearly there are holes in my house somewhere. Very windy. Anyway, the packaging, I'm going to talk to you about the packaging, bear with. So I'm having something of an existential crisis, a self-doubt moment, an imposter syndrome thing. You might recall that earlier in the year I started doing a Paint the Alphabet series on Instagram, and the point of that was I felt very lost in what I was doing, what I was kind of working on. So I decided that I wanted to have a go with gouache and just see what my actual painting skills were like. I watch a lot of other traditional artists on YouTube, and I've always been a digital art person. I've never really done traditional art. That said, I love to paint, and my only experiences of that are DIY and decorating, but I will do all the cutting in by hand when I do any kind of painting because I just love doing it. I just love it. I don't know, there's some therapy in that, I'm sure. So I really love painting. I know I really love painting. I really love the idea of being hands-on and, quite honestly, a little bit messy. I love the look of traditional painted works. So I really wanted to give it a go, and I started this Paint the Alphabet series and quickly realised that my work in traditional media looks very different from my work in digital media. They are two different mediums, let's be honest, and they just look different. And I've really struggled with that because I felt like that meant I couldn't bring any kind of traditional work into my illustrations, into my design work, into any of my like stickers and products and whatever else, because it was too different from the digital work that I do. That said, I feel like I probably am massively overthinking this, and a lot of it is an imposter syndrome thing. So I decided that I really would like to bring... That's my dog. Oh dear, Frank is still barking. Just hoping if I close enough doors we'll be able to hear him. What was I saying? I cannot remember. Traditional media. I really like the idea that perhaps I could paint the design for the September goodie box, and I kind of want it to look like a bag of flour. So I painted a bag of flour. I actually think this would make a really cool, like, what's the word? Like an art print for the kitchen. And I thought I could scan this in on my computer and change the colour so that there could be a red one or a blue one. I actually might do that and make that into a print. But I kind of looked at this and was like, I don't know if it really fits with everything else. So I repainted it. And can you tell, I'm the messiest painter in the world. Like, I've got paint all over my clean pages. I did two versions of it. One with just like flour, the other with the goodie box text on there. And quite honestly, I don't really know if I like either of them. I actually do really like this. I don't like the second one as much. I really like this, but I don't think I like it for the actual goodie box. So maybe I use this as the print that you get in the goodie box, because the print that I am working on is a big illustration and it's not finished. I don't know if like those kinds of illustrations are really my thing. I started doing them because they look like storybook illustrations, and I kind of like the idea that perhaps if I could throw enough into an illustration, that would make it good. Whereas actually the kinds of illustrations that I produce are not the kind of artwork that I would display. And I heard somebody else talk about this quite recently, and I can't remember who it was, but it was basically the idea that it's okay for the art you like and the art you produce to be wildly different from one another. It's okay that if the style of art that you would display in your home is not the same as the style of art that you actually create. And I don't know, that really struck a chord with me. Like, that really hit home, because I was like, I am that person. The kind of art that I create is not the kind of art that I like to display. And I'm kind of drawn into wanting to create the kind of art that I enjoy to look at. But I can't seem to find that, the kind of art I like to look at. It's this kind of like, there's a richness, like a texture I really love, and I really would love to be able to pull that off, and I just don't feel like I can. I don't even know what I'm trying to say at this point. I feel really stumped. I feel really like I don't know what to do. I really like this though. Is that okay to say, like, oh, I really like this piece of art that I did? There are a few things I've done recently that I have really, really liked. This kind of little popcorn spread being one of them. And I ended up not using these because, again, I just feel like they're too different. They're not giving the same kind of vibe as my digital work. I feel like my digital work is more kind of playful and bouncy and not quite as polished. Whereas I feel like this is, I don't really know, I don't want to say bordering on realism, because it's definitely not. But equally, it's not quite as playful and bouncy. It's a bit more refined. Because of that, I just don't know what to do with it, I think. I think that's the issue I'm having. Like, I can't nail down a style with gouache that I'm happy with. Whereas I've been doing digital work for such a long time, I have nailed down a style there. So I think that's probably the problem, is that like I'm still finding myself within this media. And if I'm still finding myself, is it a good idea to put that work out for sale if I haven't quite figured it out yet? But is the process part of the appeal? I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I feel like one of those, like, I don't know what the word is, like one of those kind of people who's like saying a load of stuff that sounds really nice and fluffy and actually makes no sense. I think I'm bordering on that. Yeah. Let me know what you think about this. I polled my Instagram and the majority of people were like, yeah, just go for it. And that's kind of what I'm inclined to do. But there was one person who basically said, no, your gouache is not the vibe. And I was like, oh, I was deeply offended. Like, you can't ask for people's opinion and then be deeply offended when they give it to you. But I was deeply offended. I was like, oh, damn. And it did knock my confidence a little bit. So I'm trying not to let it, because ultimately I think I'm just going to go for it. Not what we came here to discuss this morning. We really need to start on the goodie box design, because if we don't, it's never going to get done. Pals, I'm getting somewhere with this goodie box. This is what we have so far. I printed this on like peach coloured card, which is why it looks weird. Because I just do not have any white card. Since I like stopped doing my own printing, I stopped buying white card, and I have now officially run out. But I have got some peach card to hand, so I just cut the thing out in peach card so that I could just see the shape and size and stuff. The top of this won't go through my paper crimper, which is really annoying because I wanted the top to be like crimped, but it is kind of crimped on the corners. It was crimping on the corners but not all the way through, so I'm not really sure what to do with that. Whether to just kind of crimp it on the corners and glue it down and hope for the best. I don't really know. I'm hoping the whole like bag of flour thing comes across. I think it will come across more when this is in the right colours, obviously, because that's like peachy. The whole thing just looks a bit weird and there's nowhere near enough contrast on it. So by the time it's done in the right colours, hopefully, I think it will look quite cute. I now need to check that I can fit everything in it, because it looks really thin. But I had issues with my last goodie box being too thick, and some of them sent as a a large letter, and it was fine. And others of them they were just on that cusp, and some of my customers got a note to say not enough postage paid, which was entirely my fault, and I have rectified all that situation. But I need to be careful they're not too thick, but these are looking slightly on the thin side, and I don't know if I will fit those in them, so that's something I need to check. In fact, these look really massive. There's no way, that's just not going to fit in there. No, it will fit, but it's like puffing the thing out, and then I don't think it's then going to go as a large letter. I've royally messed this up, because if these don't go as a large letter, then the whole thing's not going to go as a large letter. And the way that these goodie boxes are priced are that the whole thing needs to go as a large letter, otherwise I'm not making any money on it. So that's a situation I need to deal with. So I'm going to go away, do some measurements, and we'll see what we're working with. Okay. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. So when I designed these little grocery bags, I did not account for the fact that they have to go in a large letter box. They do not fit in a large letter box. They are much too big. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I'm massively behind on this goodie box anyway, I think I'm going to just remake the packaging for the mini magnets just for the amount of Patreons I have. And then this goodie box will probably then not come to the shop as a goodie box, but I will put these as a standalone item, I think, because I'm so massively behind on goodie boxes. I simply cannot afford to send goodie boxes out in a parcel size because it's not accounted for. I make not very much money on these goodie boxes as it is. They're more a labour of love than anything because I really enjoy doing them and I want to be able to bring them to you. To do it in a way that is affordable for you and cost effective for me has been really, really difficult. I think that's possibly part of the reason why I found goodie boxes such a challenge this year, and why I was saying earlier something is going to have to change for next year, because I can't go on the way I am. The time and effort I put into these boxes is huge. I dedicate the majority of my working time to goodie boxes, which I'll be honest, I'm not making a huge return on. If I was making a bigger return on them, there would be more cash flow for other things and more. I don't quite know how to put this without. I don't know the correct way to word this, if I'm quite honest. I feel like the time and effort would be justified if I could see that I was just rolling in money. Obviously not, I'm exaggerating, but if I could see that there was a good amount of money coming in that I could then either outsource other jobs, or I mean that even in my personal life as well. If I could, I don't know, pay somebody to mow my lawn once a week or something, if I could afford to do that, then I could see that the time and effort I'm putting into the goodie boxes is worthwhile, because I can see that, okay, well, I work a lot, but also I can afford for someone to cut my grass. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if this comes off like I'm really entitled and really privileged. It's not what I'm trying to come off as, but as it stands now, I put all my time and effort into these goodie boxes, which leaves me not a lot of time for other things, and other things in my life are massively falling to the wayside. Anyway, I can't remember why I started saying this. Yeah, basically, I can't afford to send these out as a small parcel. I would make no money on them. So that's not going to happen. So I think, like I said, I'll redesign this packaging for the Patreon goodie boxes, and then instead of bringing the entire goodie box to the shop, I will just bring these little mini magnets, I think, and we'll see how that goes. So back to the drawing board. I think redesigning and remaking these shouldn't be that difficult, I think. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh! Everything feels really hard and I don't have the brain capacity for it right now. My camera keeps flashing at me that 1, the battery is going to die, and 2, that the storage is almost full on my SD card, so I really need to sort that out, but I also really want to just crack on. So I've got 20 minutes now that I could be getting on with a little bit of the illustration and hopefully get it finished, because it's actually not that far from being finished. And if I can get that done, then I can send off for all the printing for the September goodie box today, which would be amazing. So I'm going to crack on and draw, but I'm not going to film it because camera issues. Okay, pals, I have finished the illustration. I probably could have done more with it, but I'm on a time crunch. I haven't got time to do more with it, so it's at a point that it can be finished, so I'm just going to kind of accept it as finished and yeah, go from there. So that means I can send off for the printing for that today and for the printing for the actual goodie box today, and then all I have to do either tomorrow or at some point this week is to do the stickers for the goodie box, which the sticker sheet is pretty much already done. It just needs reformatting into a mini sticker sheet, and the die cut sticker I will have a think about and see what I can come up with for that, because currently I'm struggling for ideas for die cut stickers lately, pals. Leave me a comment and let me know what kind of die cut stickers you like. I kind of like ones with like little quotes on them, and I think, to be fair, when I was at Stationery Fest, the ones I sold the most of were the little quote stickers. So we've got like the slug one that says "in my slug era," and we've got the raccoon one that says "I love cookies," or "I like cookies." So yeah, maybe that's a thing to go with. But let me know, what do you prefer, with a quote or without? Right, pals, I am back. I had a very long break. I went and sat with Frank for a little while, and we started watching Chicago, as in the musical, because I know all the songs from that musical, but I've never seen it. Not once. God only knows why I know the songs. Who knows? Anyway, so we started watching that, and I was going to watch it in here, but for some reason it won't load here. But I finished the illustration. I've sent off for the prints for the illustration. I've sent off for the goodie box printing element that I need doing. I also just photographed the flower painting that I did. Was it yesterday or the day before? No, I think it was yesterday. I photographed that and turned it into a print. I could get a scanner, but I have a pretty decent camera, so rather than get a scanner and scan it in, I figured I could just take a photograph of it and put it in Photoshop, clean it up a little bit, and put it on a print. That's exactly what I've done. One is the red, which is the colour I originally painted it in, and then in Photoshop I changed the red to blue, so you could have plain flower or self-raising flower. I think they would make a really cute little kitchen print. I don't know, I'm going to stick them on Etsy and see what happens, because I've been saying for a while, I don't know if I've actually ever said it out loud, but in my mind I've been saying for a while that I would like to do more prints, but more kind of functional prints. And I know there's no such thing as a functional print. The whole point of a print is that it's a piece of artwork, but I kind of want to do more prints that I think people will actually put up around their house, because I feel like that kind of thing sells better on Etsy. I just have not gotten around to doing it. All my prints tend to be quite heavily, I say heavily detailed, they're illustrative. They're illustrative prints. Like they could be in a picture book, but I feel like that's not the kind of print that most people put up in their house. And like I said earlier, it's not the kind of print that I generally put up in my house. So I kind of want to make more stuff that I would put up in my house. I don't know if I have a picture of it. One such thing, and this is really silly, and I might not even go with this idea because I have other ideas also. For the October goodie box, I'm kind of doing some kind of a circus theme. There's a very loose theme at the minute. We haven't quite pinned down all the ideas, but it'll be some kind of a circus type theme. And I liked the idea of popcorn at the circus. I thought that was cool. I don't know, to me, like, popcorn is a very circusy thing. I don't know if I just have this affinity with popcorn and the circus because it was kind of a family tradition of ours for a really long time that we go to the circus on Christmas Eve. So we would go on Christmas Eve and watch the Christmas spectacular at the Hippodrome in Yarmouth. It's amazing, by the way. So yeah, that was just like our family tradition, and I feel like popcorn and the circus just go hand in hand. I know most people think popcorn and cinema, but honestly, I've been to the circus as many times as I've been to the cinema. So I feel like circus and popcorn are just a thing. Anyway, with that kind of theme in mind, I kind of had this idea that apples are also kind of an autumnal thing as far as I'm concerned, and a toffee apple is definitely like a circusy, Halloween-y type creepy carnival vibe. So I kind of had this idea in my mind of like apples and popcorn belong together. With the circus thing, I was like, well, every circus has a strongman. I'm thinking like vintage circus vibes. You don't really get the strongman at the circus anymore. But you know what I have in mind? The guy in the stripy one piece. What does he even wear? With the handlebar moustache and the, you know. So that was what I had in mind. And I was like, it would be funny if he was an apple and his dumbbell weights. That's the wind, by the way. It's so windy today. His dumbbell weights would be pieces of popcorn, because that would be funny. Because really, he's not that strong, because popcorn is not that heavy. I don't know. In my mind, this was funny. So I drew it out as a line work, and I don't know if I will do anything with it, but prints like that, things that are funny, I don't know. I think if I did more prints like that, they would probably do okay on Etsy. She says with like no evidence to back this up, by the way. And also a lot of evidence that it's really difficult to sell prints on Etsy, because I've definitely been down that route before. Anyway, that's by the by. That was really long-winded. This is what I'm saying about my brain is just all over the place lately. I have no idea. I've had a coffee and I feel a bit better. I don't know if I'm just like premenstrual and it's messing with my brain. My already very chaotic, disorganised brain. I feel like maybe it's just the premenstrual vibes making that worse. Possibly also I might have been ill. I don't know. I can't tell if I'm burnt out, sick. I don't seem sick in any capacity, so I don't think I'm sick. I think I'm kind of burnt out, premenstrual, and just chaotic in general. And it's all just coming together. I'm also really stressed, which has probably got something to do with it as well. The reason I'm really stressed is because I just feel like I'm running out of time for everything. I feel like I've been chasing my tail a lot lately. So the idea was, way back in July, that I did Stationery Fest, and that was kind of like my last thing of the year, and then I would sign off for the summer and, you know, still fulfill orders but not really do a lot else. And that just didn't happen. I did not sign off at all over the summer, apart from when we went to Spain. And I think because of that, I've been constantly chasing my tail of, I just need to make it through one more week. I just need to make it through one more week. And that's been ongoing since mid-July, because initially it was, I just need to make it to Stationery Fest and then I can have a break. And then another week went by, and another week, and another week, and another week. And then we went to Spain, which was lovely, but travelling I find actually quite stressful. I don't know, I find holidays a little bit stressful. I know holidays are supposed to be relaxing, and I get that, and it is an opportunity to like not have to think about certain things. Like, we were staying at a resort, so we were catered for. Like, we didn't have to think about food and drinks and entertainment, and it was all, you know, it's all done for you. That side of it's great, but I do find the travel incredibly stressful, and it makes it sound like I didn't have a nice time on holiday. I did have a really nice time on holiday, but what I've really been craving is just a week or so at home to do nothing. And I've not had that. We went from kind of Stationery Fest to one more week, one more week, and then to holiday, then straight back into the school routine, because I messed up the dates and we came back the night before the kids were due to go back to school. That was my bad. I messed it up. But like, it's just been non-stop. And I need something to slow down somewhere. And it's not going to slow down somewhere because I'm massively behind on the goodie boxes. October goodie box is then the next one coming up, and it is coming around fast, and I have a few ideas but nothing like super solid yet. And I just feel like there is something looming over me, like, oh god, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, you need to get to the next thing. Yeah, and really I feel like I could just do with a bit of a break, but there isn't one. Do you know what I mean? I'm very aware also that I need to probably do an autumn shop update. Well, not need to probably. I'm doing an autumn shop update because I've ordered a bunch of washi tapes for that. So I'm very aware that that's also a thing that I've kind of committed to at this point and I need to get done. There are, like, Christmas is not that far away, and I have a bunch of ideas for things that I want to do for Christmas. Not Christmas products, but more about, like, the marketing of products for Christmas. I think I might have even said this last year and didn't get round to it. I really wanted to do some, like, gift boxes. At one point I had somebody buy from me essentially all the slug items that were in my shop, and they were like, I just love the slugs, I just want to buy like one of everything in the slugs. And I was like, actually that's a good idea for gifting, and Etsy's really heavy on gifting, and I think if you have something that can be given as a gift, that's an ideal item to put on Etsy. And none of my items are marketed necessarily as gifts, which is why I think they don't do very well on Etsy. I could make up some like little gift boxes that have a theme, essentially, that like that person bought from me, a bunch of slug items all in a box, here's a gift kind of thing. I had a few different ideas for that and I just hadn't got round to it so far. So that's also something that's in my mind that I'm like, I need to get to that. I think that's why I'm super stressed, is because I cannot offload any of this from my brain to anywhere else. Like, it's written down, but it's still constantly in here. I'm drowning in ideas without the executive functioning skills to actually put the ideas into action. And I think that is a massive part of why I'm feeling super stressed, really burnt out, but there's no let up because time keeps on, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like that's probably where I'm at right now. It makes it sound really doom and gloom, doesn't it? But I did get a decent amount of stuff done today. It does mean I can potentially stop thinking about the September goodie box until next week when the bits and bobs arrive for it, and it's going to have to be a case of everything's going to arrive, I need to just put everything together and just send out Patreon boxes. There will be no September goodie box coming to the shop because I just do not have the time and the bandwidth to make more than I need to. Like, this is a month at which I'm just going to have to do the bare minimum to kind of make it through. I can sort of be like looking at the autumn shop update a little bit more, because I do have things that I want to prepare for that. I've already got a few sticker sheets, or one sticker sheet done. Like I said, I've got a bunch of new washi tapes coming in. I've been like prototyping some stuff. So you will probably all remember the tomato sticker pack, which I did in the summer. I've got a few of those to restock. And I also decided I could make a pumpkin version. Currently this has no stickers in it and this is just a prototype, but I made a pumpkin version of that. Also got new slugs. So, little slug. Figured out that I could use, what are these called? Like temporary tattoos. They're not called that. Water transfer. No, water slide decals. Is that what they're called? I don't know. I figured out I could use those on the bottom of my polymer clay and put my little logo on there. So I thought that was cool. So I've got new slugs coming. I've got some different design slugs as well. I'm not going to show you those just now. So yeah, I've got a few bits and bobs that I can be working on for the autumn update as well. So I'm currently filming 2 videos at the same time, which is just going to throw my brain into all kinds of chaos. But I started filming at the weekend, essentially what is last week's vlog. So when you're watching this one, it's last week's vlog. But I haven't finished filming last week's vlog at the time of filming this segment for this. Oh my God, it's confusing. You can see why I'm stressed, right? Because like my brain. Anyway, the work is done for the day. I feel a lot better for having some coffee. Don't know, I just needed some caffeine or some sugar or both, I don't know. But yeah, I am going to call it a day here. I'll come back to you when the printed goods that I have ordered, when they arrive. So, I'll see you in a bit, pals. Good morning, pals. Welcome back to the vlog. The package has arrived with all the September goodie box stuff in it, so we shall be unboxing that in just a second. Quite honestly, the world is a dumpster fire right now. I cannot even. And possibly by the time this video even comes out, it may have gotten a whole lot worse. I have no idea. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just making it known that I'm avoiding the internet as much as humanly possible right now because, I just cannot. As someone who has kind of built their career online, like, I can't just avoid the internet entirely. But let me tell you, it's the Wild West out there. Like, there is nothing good happening on the internet right now, I swear. But I found myself recently just kind of scrolling, getting a little bit anxious about the state of things, and I just needed to, like, go outside, touch grass, and just remember that the world is huge and there are horrible, nasty things going on in the wider world, but the small little piece of that is my life is actually okay. Like, I have to give myself those, like, that physical reminder of, like, no, I'm safe. I don't need to feel quite as anxious as I do right now. That doesn't take away from the fact that the world is a dumpster fire right now and it is anxiety inducing, but I kind of needed that to, like, ground myself, because otherwise I'm just going to fall into a pit of despair, I think. So let's not do that. Anyway, shall we unbox this? Oh, look. It's Heidi's Cozy Bakery. Oh, this came out cuter than I thought, actually. I actually really like that. I don't really know what to make of this. These are the flower prints. I don't really love them. I'm glad I didn't get many of these. Cozy Bakery goodie box. Okay, first things first, I want to do the goodie boxes. September goodie boxes. I want to get them done. I need to get them shipped. And that is my, like, main task for the day. So I just need to, like, lock in and make it happen. The Heidi's Cozy Bakery print came out really cute. I'm really happy with this, actually. And I thought it wasn't going to be. Very happy with that. So that's cool. I also ordered some sardine sticker packs, which I want to put in the autumn restock, autumn shop update as a bit of a restock, because I don't think ever made it to the shop after Stationery Fest. I'm pretty sure I sold them all at Stationery Fest, so they never went in the shop, so about time I restocked those. And I've just got a few greeting cards here that needed restocking also. But the restock stuff I'm not going to worry about today. That can go over there out of the way. I need to focus on goodie boxes, so let's do it. After the disaster of the grocery bags being completely the wrong size, which I did manage to fix, by the way, I thought it couldn't get any worse, but I was about to find out just how wrong I was about that. Pals, this is a disaster. Ugh. I have set these up entirely wrong. They don't work. This is what happens when you work stressed. Oh, I've waited a week for these to come as well. I'm just going to go back to the drawing board, I think. And rather than it be a box, I'm going to do this one as a goodie bag. because honestly I just don't know what else to do at this point. This box has honestly been a disaster, an absolute disaster. What feels like from start to finish, like this is just the way it goes in small business, big business, whatever. Like there are always going to be some cock-ups, and this is quite a catastrophic one. I can't use these. I can't use any of them. I don't think I can use any of it. I'm so annoyed with myself. Possibly I could fold this up into a bag. I might try that, but I'm running out of them because so far I've messed up 3 of them. And I didn't order a massive overstock of these. I ordered just about the amount I needed for my Patreons. So I need to see, A, if I've got enough to try and salvage these, and if I haven't, then it's completely back to the drawing board and turning it from a goodie box into a goodie bag. Honestly, I'm so done. I'm so done with this goodie box. I'm gutted because actually the things that are going in the goodie box, the ones that I already have, are very nice. I feel like this goodie box had really good potential, but I'm just failing to execute that properly. And that sucks. That really sucks. Anyway, I'm going to try and figure this out off camera because it is so much more stressful trying to figure something out on camera, even though like it's not live and like I could just run the camera and nobody would see the footage, but for some reason it's kind of this, you're very aware that you're on camera, that you're being perceived even though you're not actually being perceived. I don't know, it's a weird one, but it's really stressful trying to solve problems on camera. So I'm going to solve the problem off camera and I'll come back to you when I've figured it out. Hello pals, I have finally just about finished all the Cozy Bakery goodie boxes, which is the September goodie box. These ones, as you saw yesterday, did not go according to plan, but that said, they went exactly according to plan because my original plan was to do them as goodie bags, but then I decided, no, that's not good enough. We'll get them done as goodie boxes, and we all saw how that turned out yesterday. So these little Cozy Bakery goodie bags are more kind of what I originally had in mind. So you've got like a little flower package there that's got all the like paper goods in it, and then you get the little groceries bag that has got the mini magnets. You can probably hear the printer going off behind me. I am just waiting for the wrapping paper to print, and then I'm going to get these all packed up, and I need to get a couple of Sticker Club ones packed up as well, and then the September goodie box is done. And I got it out in time before the end of the month, which is great because that is what I always have in mind. We're getting there, we're getting it done. It feels like a weight off, honestly. And this morning also, while I was printing the little Cozy Bakery stickers that go on the front of these bags, I also quickly designed the die cut sticker for, wow, that was a massive bee. The hugest bumblebee I have ever seen just went past my window. That was incredible. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I also quickly designed the die cut sticker for the next goodie box as well. So I am slightly a tiny bit ahead on that too, which feels good. So, hooray! We're getting there. It felt like this was going to be a complete disaster, but actually it's come right and all is good in the world. That's a big fat lie. All is not good in the world, but all is good in my little office right now, at least. I am back from doing the post. All of the goodie boxes bar 2 have been sent out. I'm so pleased. The reason I haven't sent out the last 2 is because I ran out of pip boxes. I'm sure I had more in the shed, but apparently not. So I've got more boxes coming tomorrow, so I can send out the last 2 Cozy Bakery goodie bags, and then that's it. It's done. And then we can move on to the October one, which feels like a lot. But I am going to call it quits here, pals. I hope you have enjoyed this one, pals. Just a reminder that there is an autumn shop update in the works, but I don't yet have a date for it. So if you want to be the first to know when new stuff is dropping, don't forget to check out the links in the description and join my mailing list. It's the #1 way to know when new stuff is coming to the shop. So that's all for now, pals, and I will see you next time.